Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the We Run on Coffee podcast. I'm Erica,
And I'm Marissa.
and today it's book club day, you
It
guys.
is.
It is time for a Marissa's pick, if you will, and we're talking about The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, which, by the way, male author. I was
Yeah,
surprised.
but also I've been listening to another podcast and they did a book club for either this book or another one, and
Yeah.
they said Riley Sager, and now I don't know
Oh,
how it's pronounced, and I'm scared.
Interesting. Okay. Apologies, Riley. Whatever's correct, pretend we said that.
It's also his pen name. His real name is
Oh,
like
okay.
Todd Richter or something like that.
Oh, it's good he
But
didn't go with that. Riley's
but
better.
did I tell you last time that the conspiracy theory behind this book is that him and Frida McFadden are the
No.
same person?
No way. No, I didn't hear that.
There's a conspiracy that I mean, if you look up photos, they look sort of similar, but Frida
Hmm.
McFadden's obviously a woman and
Right.
Riley Sager is obviously a man. But
Yeah.
they say that Frida McFadden is him in a wig.
What?
But
Oh
like
my
Frida
gosh.
McFadden has like a whole life. Like she's a neurosurgeon and she like
Right.
writes books on the side and like there's no way that they're the
That's
same person.
crazy. I've not heard that, but now I need to look it up after this. I'm
I just
shook.
like when you look it up, it's probably just going to be an image of them like pasted next
Side
to
by
each
side.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really funny. All right, guys. Well, I'm editing this episode today, so it'll be fresh. I'll make sure to put that in for you guys so you can decide for yourself. I have to look it up.
I feel like I don't believe it because I don't know. I just feel like it can't be real. It could be. Who knows?
Well, anyway, I just told Marissa this book was about to give me nightmares last night. Thank
I
God it
didn't
didn't go
even
too crazy, but it was a little
I
haunted.
It was a little haunted. That's gonna be one of the questions that I ask you later. Like, did you
Yeah.
see the haunting coming?
Yeah.
And we'll get into it later. We'll get into it
Okay, okay.
later.
Well, let's start with our main thing. What are you drinking today?
I have an Alani. I feel like this is
Ooh,
classic. This one
it
is the
is.
pink slush.
Nice.
And I have seen posts on Facebook and on TikTok that Witch's Brew
It's
is
coming.
finding its way into the wild.
Oh my
Alani
God.
themselves have not like actually posted about it,
Right.
but it's making its way into the wild. And
That's
that
crazy.
means that it's almost fall
It's
time.
almost fall time. It's almost Marissa's hunting season, if you
I know
will.
I've been really trying to not be
Yeah,
overwhelming this year
that's funny.
of asking for fall to come early, but every single other person around me is begging for it to come
That's
early.
funny.
Like Kyle's sister Natalie
I was gonna
keeps
say that.
telling
She
me
keeps saying that to me.
she went Halloween shopping yesterday. I
Oh my
didn't.
gosh.
All of my friends are planning our spooky nights in October. And I'm like, guys, I'm trying to give Kyle his summer and let him be. And you're trying to ruin me. That's what
That's
you're
so
doing.
funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. When I saw Natalie like last week, she was talking about so many different things. She's like, look at these cute ghosts. Look at this. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're really ready for fall. She's like, Gilmore Girls season's coming. Are you excited?
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't thought about it. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
trying to summer, but it's exciting. It's going to be
I'm really
fun.
trying to summer, but everybody's trying to prey on my downfall, you
They
know?
really are. Honestly, they're out to get you.
It's
Um,
okay.
yeah.
What are you drinking? Sorry, I forgot
Okay.
to ask you.
It's okay. Hold on, you guys. I actually have to look what it's called. Ugh. You guys know. Big B has these weird names. I got a Big B drink today. Okay, it's called Campfire Latte.
Is it like a
And
s'mores?
yes, it's literally a
Ah,
s'mores. And it's so cute. I got a small one because I asked Angelo what size he wanted, and he said small, and I was like, what? Because we always get large because they're buy one, get one for $2 or something like that. They always give us a coupon. So I'm like, oh, might as well get the biggest one. But then he was like,
yeah.
I'm getting a small, like I don't want to upset my stomach. I don't need all that. And I was like, oh my God, that's a good point. Maybe I should try it. So I was like, yeah, I really don't need to start my day with 40 ounces of coffee. Let's just try a small. And I feel like it's a good size, but it looks so teeny and cute.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. So,
Really? I felt
mhm.
like you would have maybe not liked it because of
I
marshmallow
know.
flavoring.
So I finally got over my marshmallow syrup aversion
Oh.
because my cousins, Sydney and Madeline, who you guys know from, or Sydney and Maddie from interviews, they both like recommend me to certain drinks. They're like, oh,
hmm
we know you like these flavors. Try this, try that. And they were like, you will like marshmallow. Just
Yeah,
try
because it's
it.
basically like vanilla but sweeter.
Yeah, they were like, you're gonna like it. And I was like, but I don't like marshmallows. And they're like, no, just try it. Like, it's not gonna be gross. Like, you will like it. So I tried it and they were right. And it was
It's
so
really
good.
good.
Yeah. So
I
I love it.
I went out for coffee yesterday with some friends after we went climbing with them,
Ooh.
and they had a s'mores shaken espresso, and I really wanted
Oh,
to get it from
yeah.
there. It's the grounded coffee place that I talked about a couple episodes back when we were talking about like
Yes.
some of our favorites. And I almost got it, but I had already had caffeine that day and I didn't want a coffee. I wanted something a little more refreshing. So I got a
Right.
black tea with a pump of blackberry syrup, which was really
Oh,
good.
Angela would like that. He got a blackberry coffee this morning. It's like a mocha caramel blackberry vibe.
Hmm. It
But
was
yeah.
very good.
Okay, well, let's catch up, you guys. It's been a minute. I haven't seen Marissa in a while. We have big things to catch up on. We have big things to catch up with you guys, and I'm just excited. I miss everybody. I miss you
Yeah.
guys.
Okay, so my first catch up is the lake trip. So
Yes,
we both have a lake trip to
we
talk about,
do.
but mine was a little bit before Erica's. Basically, we just went there. We sat by the pool the whole week. There's not too much to recap from that. It was like just just a regular casual hangout weekend. There were a
Yes,
lot of people there. It was a little bit overwhelming at some times because of course there's like so many people, so many family. There's going to be
chaos.
clashing and that it was okay. It was very fun. But the one big thing that came out of it is that we tried ice cream in a creamy there because Diane
Yeah.
has a creamy and we
Yes.
bought our own.
Did you? Yes. So good. I love it.
Yeah, so
Dude, it's
now
so
we've
good.
been making stuff in our creamy, and I most recently I haven't spun it yet, but we made frozen yogurt. So I just took regular plain
Ooh.
Greek yogurt and I put like a vanilla protein shake in it to
Yeah.
make it a little bit easier to spin. And
Hmm.
I think we'll spin it today, but it
Let me
probably will
know.
be really good.
I never thought of doing frozen yogurt. That's so smart. Okay, you have to let me know if
I
that turns out good.
Yeah, I've been trying to make like quote unquote healthier ice creams that don't have like a bunch of fat and a bunch of sugar in them,
Yeah.
but I'm still trying to figure out the ratios to get it to the
Mm,
right consistency.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have like my little base recipe card, and that's what I always give to everyone. They're like, "What do you make?" And I'm like, "Use my base." But I always do chocolate instead of vanilla milk.
Hmm.
Because it makes it so good. Chocolate peanut butter. So
Yeah,
good.
we did chocolate Fairlife with heavy
Yes.
cream
The best.
and like sweetened condensed milk, and it's
Yeah.
very yummy.
Oh, that sounds so good. Yeah, chocolate Fairlife slaps.
It is very good.
Ninja Creamy. Woo!
Yes. And then this started before the lake trip, and I don't know how much I've talked about it, but Scarlett has been on antibiotics for literally half of her life.
Oh my God.
She had a UTI before we went to the lake trip. It was like a couple days before we learned that she had
Dang.
a UTI, maybe
Mm-hmm.
like a week before. So she did
Mm-hmm.
one round of antibiotics, and then it didn't get better. And then we did another round of antibiotics.
Dang.
It got a little better, but then she was not having solid poops for
Oh
over a week.
no. Oh
And so
gosh.
we had to keep going to the doctor. We've spent like $4,000 on testing and everything. And she ended up having to be put on like prescription food and
Oh.
having to be on like an anti-diarrheal, anti-parasitic
Oh my God.
medicine.
She
And
needs her
then
cranberry juice.
apparently. And then because of all those antibiotics, they did a repeat urinalysis to see if her UTI was gone, and it wasn't. So she had two more
Oh.
weeks of antibiotics. We have 3 days left, finally.
Yeah.
And during all of this, she wasn't able to get all of her shots because when you're sick, you can't get
Yeah.
vaccines. And then last time we went to the vet was about a week and a half ago. And we finally got another round of the vaccines then. So we have one more round,
Oh my
hopefully on
gosh.
August 6th, which
Fingers
is very
crossed.
close. It's next week. I
Yeah.
am really hopeful that she can actually get the last round. And then that means that a couple weeks after that, with like whatever the latency period is for like the
Mm-hmm.
immunity for that shot, then we can finally take her to dog parks.
Oh my
And
gosh.
she's 5.5 months old. So she
Right.
definitely wants to go out and run. Like,
Yeah.
we try and take her on walks. She's not the biggest fan of walks right now because she's just distracted and she
Yeah.
like wants to go back home,
Sicky.
but she wants to run so bad. And I
Aw.
would love to go and let her off leash at a dog park, but she's gonna get sick again if I take her, so
Right.
I can't do anything about it.
Oh gosh. That's horrible. I feel bad for her.
So that's just been like a whole thing. All of our credit card bills are screaming at us right now. We have to pay them
Yeah.
off by middle of August,
Oh,
and we're like trying to incrementally pay them down, but like right
yeah.
now it's just like you have to be
Dang.
kidding.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. And plus, you said Scarlett never lets anyone sleep these days. So she's
No,
sicky
literally.
and she's not letting you sleep.
Well, she's not really sick anymore. She's definitely fine. Like
Yeah,
her personality is fine. She's not
that's good.
acting sick, but there's all of these other things that are
Still,
like underlying.
yeah.
But yeah, she wakes up at 6:30 every day. So
Oh
that's
my
when I wake
gosh,
up.
mama. Yeah.
And she wakes up and screams, like not just wakes up and like
Oh,
rolls around in her crate. Like she just starts barking because she says
great.
it's time for you to get up.
Yeah.
And today she waited until 7:02, which was so much later than normal.
Wow. Wow, look at
Yesterday,
her.
6:30 a.m. sharp when we went to bed at midnight because
Oh
we
my
just got
God.
distracted and we
Yeah.
stayed up later than normal. No, she didn't care.
Damn.
I
She
know,
said,
but
you're getting
today,
up.
yep, today she slept in just a little bit.
Well, thank goodness. She tried.
Yeah, she tried her best. And then lastly, I had some friends visit 4th of July weekend.
Nice.
So that was a while ago, but we're talking about it now. They
Yeah.
came, we went on a surprise 6 mile hike. It was an
Wow.
accident. We went on one part of the trail and we thought that we thought we were going on a trail that we knew about, but we didn't end up going
Oh
on that part
shit.
of the trail. And then we
Yeah.
wanted to go on that part of the trail, so we just like drove down and went to that, and it ended up being 6 miles. But
Dang.
it was worth it. It was very fun. And they just came. We did like the regular go out to dinner. We like had a cookout here a little
Right.
bit, and then just relaxing and hanging out. We played a lot of
That's
Mario
fun.
Kart. It was very fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Classic. We love a little Mario Kart.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I have a
Your
lot of
turn.
updates. Yeah, there's so much to say, you
I
guys,
feel like I
but
had so many other things happen in the last month since we've
honestly,
been together, but like those were the highlights.
yeah. You guys, we're recording monthly. I think we said that before, but like so much can happen between two recordings at this point.
So
Um,
much can happen.
So much. Yeah, true. Okay, so we had the summer ruck. You guys know I'm doing two rucks this year, half marathons, 13.1 miles, question mark.
hmm
I think so. And we did one. So we had our summer ruck. It literally took forever. It was so hot. Like it just took so long
The heat
because
wave in the US right now is
bruh,
bonkers.
hot as hell. And it's so, thick and humid and you're like, can't breathe, but you have to
It's
do
so
it.
bad.
Ugh.
Speaking of that, next Friday here
Yeah.
is finally when the heat wave breaks,
Oh,
and I
really?
see 80, 78, 79, 82, and I'm like, it's gonna
Oh.
feel like winter.
Oh, it's gonna feel like winter. Marissa's gonna be in her coat.
Like
She's like, it's
literally,
fall,
because
everybody.
I mean, it's like been 97
Yes.
degrees every day with 79% humidity. Like it's
Oh my
just been
God.
unbearable.
It's hard to breathe out. Like
It's
the other
hard.
day, Angela walked outside. He's like, it literally feels like Arizona. I'm not even joking. He was like,
It's
it's so
horrible.
hot. Yeah.
And
It's
oh,
crazy.
speaking of another update, I forgot to say,
Hmm.
I started my running journey again. I'm
Oh,
doing
go
my
off.
return to run plan that my
I
physical
think I saw
therapist gave
this.
me. I'm
Yeah.
4 runs in of the 20 runs that I
Wow.
have to do to get to like baseline to be able to
Yeah.
start a training. And I'm feeling good so far. I've only done 4, like I said, and I'm doing
Yeah.
2 a week.
Okay.
And I'm okay for
That's
now.
good. You're almost a quarter of the way through already.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think I did see that in Strava. You were like back
hmm
to running or something. I was like, no way.
Yes.
That's exciting. Okay. No injuries. No
Yes.
injuries.
And now I ran the other day and it was like 75 degrees out because I went at like
Yeah.
7:30 in the morning and I was like, wow, it feels cool out compared to
Right.
normal.
That's really funny. When I went to get coffee today, you guys, 7:30 a.m., I'm rolling up to Bigby. There was no one out. I'm like, I guess 7:30 on a Sunday is early, but there was no one out, you guys, and I live in a city. Like it was so weird. I was like, something's wrong. It's never this dead.
Yeah, we live
Crazy.
very close to the mall that we like showed you
Yeah.
guys when you came for Thanksgiving that one year
Yeah.
and it's dead until like 10 a.m.
Bro, it's so
It's so
creepy.
eerie
It
because it gets
is.
so busy here. Like just being so
Yeah.
close to the mall, it gets so busy here between the hours of like 11 and 4. And before that, it's just like it's so eerie. There's nobody on the streets and it's
Ew.
so scary.
I don't like it. I know I see no cars and I'm like, this isn't right. Like I've never seen it, no cars.
hmm
Why? Anyway, yeah. Okay, so my other update is that I went to my cousin Pam's house. This was so fun. It was for 4th of July weekend too. We helped Angelo's friend move. He was moving to Cincinnati, which is kind of funny because my cousin Pam lives in Kentucky, just beyond Cincinnati, but not super far. But we helped his friend move and then we drove down to Cincinnati or whatever, Kentucky, visited my cousin Pam. I got to show you guys my new pillow. This is my new pillow on my little chair, but my mom bought me this. It's so
Aw,
cute. It's hard to tell, but it's
this is a
like
jumbo coffee
kind of
morning.
tufted or whatever. I don't know what that
Yeah.
is called, but yeah, this is a jumbo coffee morning from Gilmore Girls, and I just think it's so cute. And she got me a Gilmore Girls mug because I'm way too obsessed. I said Gilmore Girls is the one thing I'm like cheesy about. You know, when some people have like that cheesy thing, it's just like, why
Yeah.
do they have everything Wiener Dog or whatever? Like
Yeah.
mine's Gilmore Girls. It's so bad, but
That's how I feel about ghosts. Like that's
yeah,
what I have
that's your cheesy
everywhere.
thing. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Okay, everybody, comment on our Instagram today and tell us like what is your cheesy thing? I
My
want to
little
know.
cheesy ghost
Oh my
little,
God,
I think
Krista
he's
thing.
pink amethyst or I don't know.
Nice.
Rose quartz, something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
I know. I love little things like that. It's so fun. But yeah, it was my cousin Pam's 50th birthday, but sorry, Pam. She didn't want anyone to know that. Also, she didn't want
Surprise!
surprise. She did not want a party. She didn't want anyone to come. Nothing.
But when
So
you hit milestones, Pam, you
you
just got to
have
deal with
to.
it. Suck
That's
it up.
exactly what my mom said. She was like, I don't care what Pam says, we're going. So we text our kids. We're like, let's surprise your mom. And me and my mom and my siblings, my stepdad went and Angelo. And it was fun because it was still small, but it was like, we have to do something. You can't just let your birthday go unnoticed, girl.
Hmm.
So that was fun. Oh, and we went to Gap Factory. That's my favorite thing. Whole
Hmm.
outfit I'm wearing is from Gap Factory. But fun fact, there's only one. It's in northern Kentucky, and it's literally a giant factory store where all the excess Gap and Old Navy and Athleta and what's the other one? Banana Republic stuff goes. And
Hmm.
it's all brand new and it's way cheaper. So like I got this tank top, I think is $1.99. I got my shorts for like $6.99. They're like Banana Republic. Now the Athleta, that's the kicker.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
one thing
yeah.
that's a little bit much.
I
It's
was
like
gonna say there's no way they mark it
19.99
down
per
that
item.
much.
Yeah, it's $20 per item, which is still not bad if you find something you really like, I
No.
guess. But it's all brand new and whatever. Gap Factory, shout out. It is so good.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was my weekend at Pam's. It was fun. It was chill. And then after, well, I don't know if it was after that or before that, Buckeye Country Superfest. I'm not going to talk about it because I already talked about it in my looking ahead last time, you guys, and I remembered. So I'm not going to get into it, but I will post pictures on the Instagram
Hmm.
story because
Hmm.
it was really good. Okay, then. Phew, we finally made it to my lake trip,
Your
which
lake
was
trip.
very recent. So Angelo's mom and all his siblings and myself and Lauren, we all went on a camping road trip, kind of a road trip, but we
Hmm.
rented an RV, drove it down to the Smoky Mountains. We
How big
parked
was this RV for you all to
small.
fit in it?
It wasn't huge to be honest, and it didn't have pop outs, but it was okay. But it's like you walk inside and you turn to the right, and above the driver's seat, like above the cab, there's like a little bed that's
Hmm.
short. Me and Angelo had that one because, by the way, there were four places to sleep, and only two of them Angelo and I can even fit in because we're so tall.
That's
So
true.
that was ours. And then, so yeah, you walk in, you look to the right, you see that. If you're looking to the right, you can also see to the far right against the wall is a couch that folds down into a bed.
Hmm.
That was Dominic. And then if you're standing at the door facing in, kind of to the right, but on the other side wall, across from the couch is a dining table. So that folds down into a bed, and
Hmm.
that's where Grace and
Hmm.
Lawrence slept, but it is small. And then I'm still at the door and I'm still facing ahead. There is a kitchen, very tiny, like a tiny little kitchen, like enough room for a stove, a little square of counter, and then a sink. That's it. And then to my very left, there's a fridge. And then, of course, if you go left more, there's like a room with a toilet. Like it's a bathroom, but it's just really small. Room with a toilet. Across from that's a shower. And then there's a queen bed set in the back. So that's where Julie and Amelia slept.
I was
Now,
gonna
they were
say somebody had
also,
to bunk it with mom because there's
yes,
not enough room in there.
yes. And then they also were going to bring their two dogs, which I'm kind of glad it didn't work out. But I was like, two dogs in there would have been tight because we were really,
Yeah, they
really
would have
close
had to
together.
sleep with like Julia and Amelia.
Yes, that was the
I'm
plan,
surprised
but
Dominic didn't
still,
get shoved back there with Julia, Julia and
yeah,
Amelia.
honestly, it was so tight, but it was still really fun. And our campground we stayed at was like, they call it a luxury campground. It wasn't that much more expensive than regular ones, but the
Mm.
amenities were nice. Like the pool was like a zero entry, so it's like where it just you walk in and it just kind of slopes
Oh,
down,
I
and it
didn't
was
even know
very
that was a
bougie
thing.
looking. Actually, you guys, I'm making a note right now to post the campground we were at so I can show you. It was super nice. Free coffee every morning, like
Oh,
just a nice place, and the people were really nice too. So anyways, we stayed there. It was like 2 minutes from the Smoky Mountain National Park. And the goal was just to see the Smoky Mountains. We were supposed to all vote on like, oh, where do we want our family road trip to be? And Julie asked us all to submit a location by a date, and I was the only one that did it. So we went to my location. I picked the Smoky Mountains. I was like, I want to go to Tennessee. I want to see all these little towns. I want to go to the mountains. And no one else submitted anything, so that's what we did. And that was super fun. We were there for like 5 days. And while we were there, I got engaged.
Yay!
Woo!
I was
Which,
gonna ask, do
yeah.
you think that nobody else submitted because they wanted to know where you wanted to go because they knew this was gonna happen on the trip?
So nobody knew. Literally
Oh, never
nobody.
mind.
I know. So I'm gonna give you guys all the engagement story. I'm very excited. Next week's episode, or in 2 weeks for you guys, the next episode, it was supposed to be an Erica surprise. I don't know how it
Uh-huh.
worked out so perfectly.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was gonna do. And then after Angelo proposed, I was like, oh, I'm
I
gonna
have
have
a
story
story. I have a
time.
story.
So yeah, I will do that in the next episode. Here, you guys. Here's
Oh,
my
it fits.
it. This is my fake Amazon ring.
Oh,
But
it
it
doesn't
looks like the
fit.
real
It
one. Yeah.
does.
So that's my fake $20. So if you're out there and you want a little engagement ring, $20, you guys, just go get one.
Did you just look
So,
up like the style of the one that like you actually had and you
yep.
found a fake one?
Yep. And it was so
Oh.
easy because my mom did this because hers just doesn't fit anymore and she
Mm.
got it resized and they stretched it and now it's kind of brittle and she was like I just don't even want to wear it. So
Yeah.
she bought one on Amazon for like 20 or $30 and she wears it all the time and she's like I've never gotten so many compliments. People compliment this more than my real one. Like
That's crazy.
yeah. So, yes, I do have to get it resized, you guys, long story in the next episode. But I got engaged in the Smoky Mountains. It was
Yay!
really awesome. So, shout out to Angelo. He literally no one knew except my mom. But anyways, I'm leaving the details for
That's
next
so
episode. I'm
funny.
leaving you
I
guys
can't wait
hanging
to hear
on. I
everything.
know. So that was in Tennessee, and then we had already planned to leave Tennessee and go to Kentucky to the lake house, which is Marissa's mother-in-law's lake house, and that was cool because all the family was there. So like we got to tell everybody and hang out and have a weekend and just have fun. So it was awesome. Loved it. By the way, guys, the lake house has a freaking saltwater pool. I was like,
It does.
what? This is crazy, but it was so nice. They built it. Diane and Alan, shout out. They literally built it. They did a lot of it themselves by hand and it just looks amazing. So I was like, this is everything. I love it.
hmm
So, anyways, I'll post pictures for you guys on the Instagram story. Engagement pictures will be in the next episode, so you have to stay tuned. And that's it. We can finally get started with our actual content now that we're, let's
Yes.
see, 22 minutes. Okay, not bad. Not as bad
Not
as I
so bad.
thought.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
we've been worse, guys. We've been worse.
Okay, so as for every single book club episode ever, we use Super Summary for our
Yes,
questions and our summary.
they're kind of the best.
Um,
I love Super Summary.
they didn't have very many questions about this book. I'm guessing nobody ever in the world has ever done a book club on this, which is not true, but there's just no questions for this one. So a lot of the questions later on did
Yeah,
come off my brain.
yeah,
So
we love that.
if the questions are out of order, they're not really making sense, that's my bad.
And if you are listening to this and you want to do a book club on this, but you also couldn't find questions, maybe you can use some of ours. That would
Yeah.
be cool.
Okay, so I'll start with my summary. This is your spoiler warning. If you did not read the book
Yes.
yet, but you still want to listen to this, go read your book and then come back here.
Hmm.
If you are not going to read the book ever and you still want to listen, go
Yeah.
ahead. You can keep
You'll get
listening.
enough from the summary. This is our goal at least. You'll get enough from the summary to be able to have the discussion with us, even if you didn't read.
Yes. Okay,
Yay.
so Casey Fletcher is a 35-year-old widow who returns to the family's lake house in Vermont after a downward spiral following her husband's death. Leaving behind her career in public life, she settles in on the shores of the dark, unfathomable Lake Green and prepares to spend her days drinking and trying to avoid memories of the past. One morning, she rescues her neighbor from drowning and sparks up a friendship that will have a lasting impact on her summer. Her neighbor is the beautiful Catherine Royce, a former supermodel married to the CEO of a tech company called Mixer. The evening after she rescues Catherine, the Royces show up at her dock with an expensive bottle of wine, but when Catherine passes out in the yard, the evening is cut short and Casey is left with some concerns. The next day, Casey begins spying on the Royces with a pair of binoculars. Her voyeurism is made easy by the Royces' glass wall that faces her house and allows her access to their lives. While watching, she begins to see disputes between Tom and Catherine that make her wonder about their marriage. One night, she witnesses a domestic dispute in which Catherine hits Tom and then stares directly at Casey through the glass wall. Although she is severely hungover and disoriented the next morning, Casey thinks she hears a scream from across the lake. Feeling worried about her newfound friend, she drives over to the Royces to discover Catherine is gone. Tom tells her that Catherine returned home to New York, but when Casey investigates with the help of her cousin, she discovers that Catherine hasn't been by their building. After seeing a fake Instagram post from Catherine, Casey decides to visit another neighbor at the lake, Boone Conrad, to ask if he heard anything. Boone confirms that he also heard a scream that morning. The two of them then watch the Royce's house and witness Tom acting suspicious, so they contact Boone's friend, Detective Wilma Anson. The next day, Casey decides to break into the Royce's house. She narrowly avoids being caught by Tom and in the process discovers Catherine's cell phone has been stashed in a drawer and someone has web searched a man who poisoned his wife. After returning home, she calls Wilma Anson back to her house so she can analyze the broken wine glass that Catherine dropped in her yard for traces of poison. While there, Wilma tells Boone and Casey some confidential information. She is currently working on the case of a suspected serial killer of three young women, Megan Keene, Tony Burnett, and Sue Ellen Stryker. One of the suspects is Tom Royce. Casey and Boone begin to watch the Royce house together, and in doing so, they grow closer. Boone suggests that they go into town to see what they can find out, and while in town, they have a frank conversation about alcohol. Boone tells Casey that sobriety is possible and shares his own traumatic story. After his wife's death, he showed up to a call while drunk. He was a former police officer. That was missed in the summary.
Yeah.
He showed up to a call while drunk and nearly shot a man, resulting in a 6-month suspension. Although Casey is drawn to Boone, she still feels compelled to go home alone and binge drink to avoid the memories at the edges of her mind. That night, while drunk and spying on the Royce's house, Casey sees Tom watching her with his own pair of binoculars. He then gets in his car and drives to her house while she scrambles to lock the doors and turn off the lights. Beating on the door, he tells her that he knows that she has spied on him and broken into his home. Tom claims that she doesn't understand the situation and should leave him and Catherine alone. However, Casey also begins to suspect Boone when she discovers he has been lying to her about his relationship with Catherine. Far from being mere acquaintances, the two had a brief summer flirtation that culminated in a kiss. Casey wonders if Boone has motivation as a jilted lover and considers the possibility that he might have been poisoning Catherine rather than Tom. She calls Wilma Anson with this new information, but Wilma is loyal to Boone and Casey feels alone. As the storm comes in, Casey sees Tom go to an abandoned house in the neighborhood and follows him. There, she finds Catherine tied up in the basement and believes Tom is holding her captive. But Tom tells Casey that Catherine is not herself and that she's been possessed by the spirit of someone else. When Casey talks to Catherine, she realizes that she's talking to Len, her ex or her dead husband. It's his mannerisms, his speech patterns, and his memories that come out of Catherine, including one that only he and Casey know that Casey murdered Len.
Plot twist.
I know. This is such a long summary, but I didn't get a chance to read through all of it. I just knew that it was like
Yeah.
super all encompassing and I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
All of the memories that Casey has been struggling to repress come back in. Casey recalls that the morning she found evidence of the murders of the three missing girls in Len's tackle box, and after drugging him, she killed him by pushing him into the lake. Casey is terrified and determined to end Len's reign of horror, believing Catherine has truly been possessed. Casey brings Catherine/Len to her home, tying Catherine to her childhood bed and beginning her private interrogation. Amid the raging storm, Casey asks Catherine/Len about Len's murders, determined to find out where he buried his victims. She makes a deal with Catherine/Len that if she shows her, Casey will relinquish them though secretly intends to sacrifice herself to save Catherine. Catherine/Len shows her where the girls are buried in the middle of Lake Green, and then she kisses him, pulling his soul from Catherine back into Casey's body. And once the transfer is complete, she jumps into the lake with an anchor tied to her. But Catherine saves her, and the two think their troubles have ended. After killing Len a second time, Casey confesses her husband's crime to Wilma Anson and directs her to where the bodies of the victims are buried. Feeling liberated from her past, Casey celebrates by pouring her liquor down the drain. However, Casey realizes that certain questions are still unanswered, such as to why Catherine almost drowned even before Len possessed her in the lake. Casey realizes with horror that Tom is still a suspect, and at the very moment he sneaks up and tries to kill her. The two grapple, and Tom dies in the lake water, but is repossessed by Len, leading his body
Len
to
won't give
become
up.
reanimated. However, Casey smashes the last remaining bottle of wine, that very expensive wine that he brought over the night that Catherine passed out, and kills Len within Tom's body a third and final time. In the final section, several months have transpired, and Casey has decided to go sober. Surrounded by her family and new friends, as she slowly rebuilds her life, she feels more confident in herself and her ability to handle whatever comes next.
Yeah. If you're confused, read the book. I know the ending is
Yes.
very confusing, but in the book it's really good and it's really clear. It's hard
Yes.
to explain like when to someone who hasn't read it. It's like
Yeah.
possessed, he, her, they, them. I'm confused. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
because
people.
there's like the reanimation of a corpse, like kind of a
Right.
lot of times.
Yeah,
It's very
honestly.
confusing.
Yes. Okay, should we say our ratings before the questions or
I
after?
guess so.
Okay, I'm giving it 5 out of 5, which I never do, you guys. I
Yay!
think it was, even though it was too creepy a little bit.
Too
Okay,
creepy.
here's the thing. I only had 22% of it done yesterday morning. So I had to read the whole book yesterday pretty
Yeah.
much. And so that means I had to stay up late doing it. And it was just like,
Oh, that's
we had
fair.
really bad storms. It was thunder, lightning, pouring rain, which was
During that
very
part of the
vibes.
story,
Yes,
too.
it was very vibes, but I'm just like laying in the dark in the living room reading it. It's creepy outside. Any noise, I'm like no. So it definitely creeped me out, but I didn't actually get nightmares. I really thought I would because I do, that happens to me. But I was like, this is a book I will remember and also like won't stop thinking about. So that makes it a 5 star to me.
hmm
Yeah.
I I feel like I'm gonna give it maybe on Goodreads I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I think I'm
Yeah.
giving it a 4.5 out of 5.
Hmm.
As I had said,
That's pretty
he
good.
is one of my favorite authors.
Yeah.
I say that and I've only read these two, this book by him and then one other book.
Yeah.
But the other book, it was leaning towards a supernatural element,
Hmm.
and then they led you to believe it was supernatural, but that
Right.
was fake. So when this twist
Oh.
started happening in this book to where it was becoming supernatural,
Hmm.
I thought that it was going to turn out to be fake.
Yeah.
And because I had that like preconceived notion, I guess, from reading the other book,
Yeah.
I was a bit confused around the middle when that like twist did come up.
Hmm.
But overall, I really liked the story. I liked how there he buried the lead all like almost
Oh
the
yeah.
entire book. Like obviously you didn't know that Catherine was still alive until you see Tom go into the house. And
Yeah.
then as like each person was being brought up, and I kind of bring up this up in the questions, like I suspected everybody of all of the crimes that were happening around the
Right.
lake
Yeah.
because it just continually kept coming up, and like everybody was led to be suspicious, other than
Right.
Casey, even though I feel like she was meant to be an unreliable narrator since she was drunk all the time.
Literally, I know when I okay, how much Casey drank in this book, you guys stressed me out. I was like,
So much.
ah,
Because every single time she was seeing something, I was like,
yes,
girl, you're hallucinating. You've had three
yes,
bottles of whiskey.
literally. She's like, I'm on my sixth bourbon of the day. I'm like, geez, I'm like, I feel anxiety for you. Like, I'm stressed out.
And like I get it, she was an alcoholic. Like that was
Yeah.
clear by the page one of the book that she was an
Yes.
alcoholic. But like
Oh,
the continually drinking all of this while also like she was putting herself in dangerous situations,
yeah.
spying on the neighbors the whole time while drunk. Like you're obviously not doing it incognito
Breaking
because
into
you're
their
drunk as
house.
hell.
Yeah, like you think you're not being sus, but you are.
Yeah,
Are.
exactly.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, let me get into the questions. I
Okay.
feel like the questions that I put will spark further conversations about different parts of the book too.
Yeah.
So, throughout the book, Casey continually is looking in on Catherine and Tom's lives and making assumptions. Did you agree with the assumptions that she was making, or did you find it hard to agree with her because of that drinking aspect?
Honestly, I agree. I agreed with her. I was just like, yeah, this makes sense. But also, I always had this underlying feeling of this reminds me of the movie Voyeur, which
Mm.
Marissa and I always say we've seen, and I feel like not a lot of people have seen, but
It's
for
a
some
very
reason we have.
interesting movie.
It is. And so that movie, spoiler, if you've never watched it, you can skip this, but that movie led me to believe that in the book that Tom and Catherine were just playing her. Like they
Mm.
had some kind of thing going on and they were just
Yeah.
acting and they were going to play her in the end. But overall, I was like, yeah, I agree with the assumptions she was making. Like she saw Catherine hit Tom and she
Mhm.
thought it was in
And Tom like
defense.
hit her back,
Yeah.
not aggressively, like he grabbed her by the arm or
Right.
something, and then like Catherine like punched him in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. And she thought like Tom was abusing her and trying to kill her, which foreshadowing,
Yeah.
honestly. So I agreed with her. I didn't think it was super
Yeah.
sus, but I mean, the drinking was a little bit sus, but I feel like he also did a good job of making everything super believable.
hmm I I also tended to agree with her. I did question it sometimes because
Yeah,
I knew that she was meant to be unreliable,
right.
but because she was painted in an unreliable light, I think I was like, well, maybe he doesn't want me to think that, like the author.
Yes,
He
I
doesn't
know.
actually want me to think that.
Whenever I read and I think about what they want me to think, then I'm like, so I shouldn't think that. That's
I
so
know, and
funny.
like that's exactly what authors do. Like a good
Yes.
author is trying to like play games with the
Yeah,
audience that
lead you
they're
astray.
especially a mystery author is
Hmm.
definitely trying to like lead you astray. He's thinking about like how all of the people are going to interpret his writing.
Yeah.
And I did tend to agree with her and like see the assumptions that she was making. I was like, well, obviously they're like there's turmoil in their relationship. Whatever it is, there's
Yeah.
turmoil. But because we were led to like believe it so black and white, like they were like in a domestic dispute, I had
Right.
no idea what was coming in the future
Oh,
of the
same.
book.
Yeah. He did a good job of making Casey likable, even though it was
Hmm.
like, she's stressing me out. She's drinking all the time. I don't know. There's a lot going on with her. He also made it to where it's like, oh, you kind of feel bad for her and you kind of not pity her, but you like her
Hmm.
generally, I feel
Yeah.
like. I don't know.
And then the next question, Casey's compelled to intervene when she fears that Tom has put Catherine in danger. Obviously, she goes over to the house as soon as she sees this like domestic dispute or whatnot. So, what is your view on the right moment to intervene in somebody else's life? Or should you wait for a crisis point or act early to prevent it from happening?
Literally, I have no idea. I feel like this is so complicated.
I mean, obviously,
Whenever,
you don't have to think about it in the context of you're looking across the lake into
yeah.
somebody else's house, but
So creepy. I don't know. It's hard to say because I feel like this isn't the first book we've read, or maybe just like in general in books and TV. It's like the person always intervenes and then it's never what they thought. Like that
yeah.
happens so often that it's like, it's hard to say because you just want to do the right thing, but then at the same time, you can make everything worse, as we saw. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like consistently in books that we've been reading recently, there's a question of
Yeah.
morality
Yes.
in these books, and it's like
Always.
trying to determine like
And who really
where do your
knows?
morals fall, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
I mean, I think in general you should probably act early. It's like the see something, say something, like
Right.
the bystander effect. If you don't
Better
say
safe than
something, then it's
sorry.
just going to continue to get worse.
Yeah.
So I think in general, if you can react early to prevent things from happening, that's probably the best course of action. But
Right.
if you don't know until a crisis point is happening, like then
Yeah.
intervene then.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay. So how did you feel about the book's super sudden genre shift? Did you think that there were any signs that the novel would take a supernatural turn early on, or were you completely surprised by it?
Completely surprised. I've never read this author, so I especially, and I don't read this genre at all normally. So I was very surprised. I think at the beginning, I was like struggling to, like, for the first 22%, it almost felt like it took longer than the rest, which it didn't. But I was like, first of all, when it started, didn't know if Casey was supposed to be a guy or a girl. I was like
Mhm.
really confused in the setup. I just wasn't getting it. And I was also a little bit bored. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like the setup to me took a lot, but once I got past that, it was really good. And then everything after that, like the supernatural stuff, just any of it was all a surprise. Like the way that Casey was like, if you're really Len in Catherine's body, like tell me something only I would know. And he's like, well, I know that you killed me. I was like, what?
I
Like
literally,
I
my
was
jaw
shocked.
dropped. I was sitting
Same.
on the couch with Kyle at that
Same.
point, and he was like watching something, and I was like, "What
Yep. Yes.
the
Angela's like watching YouTube next to me and I'm laying there like,
hell?"
what? Are you kidding? Like this book just got crazy. And then I kept telling him, I'm so creeped out. He's like, that bad, huh? And I was like, well, it's really good, but I'm creeped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Well, I was very confused because the book was split in between then and now chapters.
Yes.
The then chapters were the then and now chapters were like days apart. It was not
Right.
very big in a before and after kind of like
Yeah.
two different timelines. It was like maybe 24 hours at some point was like the difference.
Hmm.
And it starts with a very quick now chapter of like I don't know, like saying that somebody's tied up in her house. And
Yeah.
then it goes to then when Catherine like goes and almost drowns. And then it continues to do that throughout the book. And the now chapters is when we got the most of the reveals, I feel
Right.
like.
And I
Everything else
also,
was like building.
yeah, and I'm sure this was on purpose, but I also thought in the now chapters that the person sitting in the chair that she was interrogating was so many different people,
I thought it
which
was
is,
Tom until
yes,
we learned that Catherine was the one.
I
And
thought it
then
was
we learned that it
Tom.
was Len.
Then I thought maybe it was Boone for
I
just like
did
a
too at one
moment. Yeah,
point.
just for a second. And I'm like, this is so good. Like, this is so well done. This is exactly
Yeah.
why I gave it 5 stars. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and the now chapters were like 2 pages.
yes,
And then this book was very weird because there wasn't actual chapters. It was
right.
just sections.
My
And
Kindle was
then
so confused.
really
Yeah, it was like 2 hours and 56 minutes left in this chapter. I was like, what?
yeah, I read it paperback because I
Yeah,
actually had this book and it was very confusing because there wasn't like actual chapters. It was just the sections like I was saying. And the
yeah,
now sections were like I think the longest one was maybe 3 pages long and the
right,
rest of them were like the then chapters could be like hundreds of pages.
right.
It
Did
was
your paper book have pictures of the lake between each section? Or is that just
Oh, yeah,
Kindle?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay,
It
okay.
did.
I was just
Yeah.
curious because I thought that was interesting. But yeah, there were no like chapter titles or chapters really, so the Kindle didn't understand it.
Where you were.
So all I had to, I usually see like 5 minutes left in chapter. That's what I go by. But I had to do left in book, like hours left in book. And at one point it said 12 hours and 56 minutes. And I was like, F my life, dude. But I realized it's because I tried to read it at night like 3 times, but I'd fall asleep and leave it open. And
Yeah,
so it
I've
was
done that
all
too.
messed up. So yeah. Anyways, did not see the genre shift coming. Loved
No,
it. It
I
was really
didn't
good.
either. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. I had read The Only One Left by him, and there is a bit of a supernatural element. It's about a family where there's one survivor, there was like an
Yeah.
axe murder, and they lead you to believe like one of the deceased is haunting the only one
Okay.
left.
Hmm.
However, at the end there's like a twist, and she
Yeah.
was never actually like haunting her.
Hmm.
And I thought that that was what was going to happen, that they were going to lead us to believe that Catherine was
Yeah.
being possessed, but Catherine was actually just like having a psychotic break or
Yes,
was being
I had
poisoned and
that.
hallucinating or
Yes.
something. And like it was fake. And the
Hmm.
whole time, like I remember exactly the same thing. I was sitting on the couch with Kyle and I was like, I feel like this is fake. And he's
Yeah.
like, what's fake? And I was like, they just said that this lady's possessed by somebody. I feel like that's not
Right.
true. And he was like,
Yeah.
you just have to read and find out. And then I found out and it was true.
You found out. I know. I had that feeling too, and it was kind of giving. I was like, wait, is this like a Verity situation? Like,
Mm,
I'm confused. So I feel like there's a lot of themes in this book that I've learned from other books that I'm like, wait,
yeah.
is this happening or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next twist in the like bigger part of the book was, did you see the twist coming that Len was the killer of Megan Keane, Tony Burnett, and Sue Ellen Stryker? Or did you ever suspect anybody else?
Did not see it coming that it was Len. Loved that plot twist though,
Hmm.
actually, because didn't want it to be Boone. I like wanted to like Boone. I'm so glad they just let Boone be good and like
Yeah,
let
I
us like
really
him.
thought it was him.
I know. So I didn't see it coming that it was Len, but I also felt like it was way too easy for it to be Tom. I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know. This is pretty like they're like, oh yeah, he's also a serial killer while he's at it, and I'm like, seems too easy. Like it's got to be somebody else.
Yeah, and I was really confused because when like Wilma Anson came in, that detective, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so like you're coming to this lake and you're like saying that Casey's lying to you, saying that Catherine is hurt, but you also suspect him of being a serial killer.
Right.
So like how can you completely discredit Casey's feelings?
Yeah, she was an interesting character too because the way she acted, sometimes you were just like, "What's going on with you?" Like
Yeah, I did. She definitely was led to like you were led to believe that she was a dirty cop
that
at
she was
like at
sus.
least like
Yeah,
30% of the time that
agreed.
she was in the book. And I was like, what? I
Yeah,
don't, but I was also having a hard time like not trusting her. I was like, oh,
I
I feel
know.
like you're telling me the truth.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
But I did not see the twist coming. I definitely thought because they were saying that Tom and Catherine had traveled around to different links trying to find
Yeah,
a place to settle down like over the summers for the last couple of years, and that's when these
makes
women had went
sense.
missing. And I was like, oh well, that makes sense. Like he is
Right.
like opportunity, he's at the scenes of the crime. And then I thought maybe it was Boone because he had just moved into this lake house to like help over the summer. And I was like, well, maybe he
Yeah.
does that all the time. And then we were led to believe that Boone killed his wife. And
Right.
that part wasn't even listed in the summary. We're led to
Yeah, that
believe that
twist.
Boone killed his wife, but she actually killed herself, and he was trying to
He
save
covered.
face by
Yeah.
not like save face for his wife's sake and
Yeah.
not tell everybody that he killed like she killed herself. And I thought like for the most split second that it was
Right.
him.
Yeah.
And like you had said in the now chapter, like maybe one now chapter, I thought it was him, but
Yeah.
then I was like, no, 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 it's not.
Yep. Agree, agree.
And then just the next one is, discuss your impressions of Casey as a narrator. Did you trust her completely before her big secret was revealed? Why or why not?
Yeah, I did. I don't know why. I don't know, just because she was there and she seemed trustworthy. Like she admitted her. I think it's maybe because she admitted her fault. She's like, yeah, I know I drink too much, but I like it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, like she just
And
needed to cope.
yeah, she knew she had whatever the word is, like imperfections, but she embraced it anyways. And that in general makes you trust someone when they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I fucked up, but
I mean, the
still
first
here.
like 75% of the book, you're also just knowing that Casey's
Yeah,
husband died. If
right.
my husband
You just
died,
think of
I'd
her as a
probably
widow.
drink myself into a coma probably
Yeah,
once or twice.
yeah,
It
exactly.
took her a year to get to a point where like maybe she decided she shouldn't drink anymore and seeing
Right.
Boone, a recovering alcoholic, not drink too.
Yeah,
And I feel like if I'm in that situation, sure, I'd be a little sad. I'd probably drink a bit
yeah,
too much.
yeah.
But then at the end, we learn like she's coping with the thought that she had to kill her husband so that he didn't murder anymore.
Right.
I feel
Oh,
like
so
I would
crazy.
also drink if that was a
Yeah,
situation.
that's literally crazy. She literally watched him drown. Ah!
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was I just didn't see any of it coming. Like the twists were really good in this book.
Yeah. And then the very end, like the final twist. I mean, before Tom comes over, I was going to add a question about that.
Yeah.
But how did you feel at the end of the book when Casey took Catherine out on the lake to like say, okay, go in the woods, run out, tell like Boone or whoever she was supposed to tell, like, I've been in the woods, I got lost, or whatever their plan was.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that when Casey ends up throwing herself in the lake, stealing Len from her body? How did
That
you
was
feel, I guess, in
crazy.
general with like the transferring of Len's soul?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I mean, first of all, this part of the book was pretty short at this point. It was like really
Mhm.
quick, those last couple pages. Um, I don't know. It was weird. I was just like, what's going on? She's trying to drown herself. I understand, then I understand what's going on. I was happy that they didn't just end it there though. Like I was happy that they had Catherine save her. And then Catherine like
Yeah.
said the same line that she said to Catherine when she saved her. You know, like
Yeah.
Catherine said the same, I forget what it was, but she said the exact
Oh,
same line.
I can't remember what it is.
She's
I'd have
like,
to go
oh,
get the
she was
book.
something like, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I think you were drowning or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, that's so good because throughout the whole beginning of the book, they like becoming closer friends. Casey's like trying to show Catherine her humor and everything. Catherine's trying to pick up on it. And then by the end, I feel like Catherine's sarcastic and funny like Casey.
Yeah, for sure.
So I liked that, but I don't know. That doesn't really answer the question. I felt like it was weird. It was creepy. I didn't
It
love
was
it, but
it
I
was
liked
definitely
what they
weird.
did. Like I liked that choice to keep her alive, to get Len out of her. Yeah, I don't
Yeah. I thought it was interesting because at one point there's an entire character we didn't end up talking about. What was his name?
know.
The
Eli,
neighbor, Eli.
the old guy.
He yeah, he like lived across the lake. He like lived there full time. He like kind of was a caretaker of everybody around the lake. Like
Yeah.
just the old like
He's
friendly
giving like
gentleman.
father figure to Casey. Like she was kind of close with them a little bit.
Yeah. And I think that he brought up this story about how the lake had like not a personality, but it
Spirits
was like
or oh,
spiritual.
yeah.
He was like the lake has demons or something like
Yeah.
that. And then
Literally
Catherine
like
was like,
campfire ghost stories. He was trying to be like
yes.
entertaining.
And then Casey had to go and tell him like it's real, Len's back. And then he like saw it for himself and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, what's happening here?" And I liked it the way that they like saved Len or like not saved Len, got rid of Len and saved
Yeah.
Catherine and Casey and then eventually like
Agree.
killed Tom and Len in the very end.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was weird the
When he
way that
came
they
back as
had to
Tom, I
like
was like, why? Literally,
I
why? Get rid of
know.
this guy. Ugh.
I know. And then she like stabbed him with the
Yeah, with the
wine
bottle.
bottle.
Yeah. I like that they had Eli save Casey also when the Len was trying to kill her, I think, or
Mhm.
Tom, or who was trying to kill her? Len? I don't know.
It was
She
both
was
of
on
them
the
in the same
ground
body.
with the
I don't know.
knife over top. Yeah.
It
And
was
Eli pulled him
Len
off.
slash Tom, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I liked that part, but
But
it was
overall,
crazy.
really crazy book. Definitely a
Yes.
lot of twists. I like Riley Sager, however you say his last
Yeah.
name. I like the way that he writes. It definitely buries the lead often, and I feel like that's a really good quality to have in a mystery, thriller,
Agree.
suspense type novel.
I'm glad you could still have a surprise because you read a lot of this genre. So
Hmm.
I feel like that's saying something. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I think the book that I read before this was The Final Girls Support Group. It's
Hmm.
by Grady Hendrix, and I've been wanting to read more of his books, but that one I was like same as you said for the first like 22% of the book you were like really confused with like the setup.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on in the setup of that one.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, it was like I think I gave it like a 3 stars. I was just very confused with the whole
Hmm.
thing, but I think I need to give him another shot.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, now
All
our favorite
right.
part, dream
Dreamcasting.
casting. So, do you think that this book should become a movie? I guess.
Yes, I think this would be a really good movie. I love when a book movie like captivates people and people want to watch it who aren't readers because it kind
Hmm.
of brings them into the story and then they're like, wait, this is a book. It's like, yes, bitch, books are good. I
Yeah,
love
that's how I feel
bringing in a
like
non-reader.
That's how I feel like the housemaid will be.
Yes, I
Like when it
cannot
comes out
wait.
for Christmas, I feel like it
Yes.
will definitely feel that way to a bunch of readers.
Yes, I didn't read We Were Liars. I don't know if you read that, but that's a
Mm-mm.
show on Hulu now. And I've heard so many people talking about it who have no idea that it was ever a book. And I was like, wait, I wonder if I should read that. It looks a little bit
Mm.
horror-ish, like from the
I've definitely
show
heard about it. I've just
previews.
never read it.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope this would be a movie because I think it would be really good.
Yeah, I think it would be very good. I'm curious how they would do like the possession aspect,
Right. It's so
but
weird.
I think it would end up
Ugh.
being overall a good movie.
Yeah, that's true. All right, you guys, we're gonna Dreamcast. We'll go through each character and I guess we can each say who we picked, what actress or
Okay.
actor we picked for them.
So for Casey, I picked Nina Dobrev. She was
Yes.
the lead in Vampire Diaries forever ago. And every picture I tried to find of her wasn't like actually how I pictured Casey looking. I feel like she would look a bit more
Yeah.
disheveled. She would have like
Little,
maybe her
yeah.
hair back in like a ratty
Like a
bun,
messy, but yes,
like
exactly. The
not looking
sneakers, the flannel, the
entirely.
messy bun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not looking entirely put together, obviously, because she's like distraught. She's mourning,
Yeah.
whatever. But I think that Nina Dobrev looking a little like she's like an older woman now. Like, obviously, she's not like old, but she's like in her 30s, 40s now. And I feel like her now gives me Casey vibes.
Nice. I agreed with Marissa on this. I didn't even pick anyone else. I said no notes. This fits. Like when I saw the picture, I was like, oh yeah, that fits.
hmm And then for Tom, he was the next one that I put in. I had a hard time trying to figure out what order to put these people in. But Tom, I wanted somebody that looked like attractive enough that you wouldn't be suspicious of them
Right.
immediately. And they're meant to be like old money people. They're meant to
Yeah.
be around the same age as Casey, like mid 30s. So I picked Austin Butler. I envisioned Tom as a blonde like the whole time
Yeah.
I was reading. It's like just thinking of him as like a tech mogul, like
Right.
super old money kind of guy.
I pictured him brunette, but I also didn't pick anybody because I could not figure this out. I just imagine him like brown hair, short, maybe even a little gel in it because he's chuggy a little bit.
Oh,
And
I feel like
um
the picture I picked of Austin Butler kind of
it's
gives that
no, it's
though.
pretty good. I like this selection, and I think he was hard for me to picture too though because he's always wearing like a cashmere sweater or like something
Yeah.
random that I'm like, what? Like I cannot picture this man, but
Yeah,
I will stand by Austin Butler too.
if this were to become a movie, I could definitely see them picking somebody that I've never seen act before for
Yes,
Tom's role.
literally like Atlas from It Ends With Us. Like Brandon Sklenar was not the name he is now before, but he's
hmm
the perfect choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Catherine, I also envisioned her blonde, like just hearing like supermodel. I was
Yeah,
like somebody that's like super put together, like I don't know, just somebody very like clean cut. And I picked Brie Larson.
yeah. I went completely different. I saw Catherine as brunette. I saw her as kind of like I don't remember who I dreamcast for the last book we read. I think it was Housemaid series
It
actually that I'm thinking
was.
about. And the wife, I know I cast Sydney Sweeney, but for the wife I cast someone else, and I was kind of reminding or imagining her more like that, like very put together, high heels, earrings. Like even though they didn't necessarily say that, I chose Jessica Biel. She's a little bit older, I feel like, but just imagine she's the same age as everyone else. That's my selection for Catherine, or Cat, as the husband would say.
Yes. And then for Boone, he was the last one that I casted. I didn't end up casting anybody for Len because mostly throughout the book, he's in Catherine's body.
Yeah,
I feel like some of the flashbacks, like he was there, but I didn't feel like it was enough that I had a picture of what he looked like,
yeah.
I guess. But for Boone, I ended up picking Joe Mangiello. I think that's how you say his name. I pictured like this rugged guy. I wanted him to
So
have like
funny.
kind of like salt and pepper hair, and I feel like
Oh,
he
yeah.
has that now. The picture that I picked of him doesn't have salt and
Just
pepper
abs.
hair. It's just abs. But I was
That's
like, I
funny.
just wanted a guy that was like, he was there for like putting a house together, like doing some
Yeah.
like work. So I was like
Handyman
a
vibe.
rugged guy. Yeah. And I feel like he often plays that in movies.
Right.
And so I picked him. But another person that I was thinking of, and maybe it's just because I picked Nina Dobrev, I was thinking Ian Somerhalder
Oh,
for Boone as well. Yeah, you don't know who that
no, I have to
is?
Google.
Oh my goodness. I was thinking him just because he's a bit more rugged too, and he has
Oh,
like
I
dark
know who
hair,
he
but I
is.
really wanted somebody that had like salt and pepper hair, and he doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see you. And I Googled Joe Manganiello as well, and I see what you're talking about there with his vibe.
Yeah. But I think they
Love.
both could fit the character, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, so I went slightly different, but not by a lot. Marissa and I were talking about this beforehand. We both thought of Brandon Sklenar for this, but we were like, we can't do it. We can't pick Brandon for everything. Like, anytime we're like rugged guy, kind of hot, we're like, Brandon Sklenar.
Yeah. It's just
Um,
because it ends with
it
us.
fits, yeah, and it's like so easy to picture because we've seen him in it. But I picked Riley Green. Riley Green's a country singer, but apparently he's been in a movie before. So I was like,
Oh,
okay, counts, like actor.
perfect.
And I think he's similar vibes to Brandon Sklenar, so that's kind of why I picked him. Very
Hmm.
muscular, brown hair, kind of like light eyes, and that's exactly how I pictured Boone. Which Boone
Yeah.
Conrad, when they said his name, literally before I read the next line, it just said Boone Conrad. I was like, eye roll. What a dumb cliche like country boy name. And then the next line was her being like, is that really your name? I was like, wait, I just had that thought before I even read it, which is
That's
really
funny.
funny. But Dreamcasting, there you go, you guys. The
Yeah.
pictures will be on screen so that you guys could walk through them with
Yeah,
us.
we should add in a photo of Ian Somerhalder
Okay,
for
add that
my
on the,
boon.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Add that there and I'll put it in. So that's the
Perfect.
Dreamcasting. This was overall a really good book. We gave super high ratings, you guys. If you listen to other book clubs, this is our 10th one. I've only, I think, ever given a 5-star one other time. Maybe two, but I think
I
one.
think you gave a 5 star to Jeanette
Jeanette
McCurdy's
McCurdy.
memoir,
Yes.
and that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah. So this is a pretty monumental one. We both gave really high ratings, which we don't always do. We're pretty stingy with our stars around here, but it was pretty good. So good pick, Marissa.
Thanks. Do you have
I
a pick for our next one?
No, that's what I was gonna say is I don't know. I have some ideas, but I haven't picked anything yet. So stay tuned, you guys. I'll let you
Oh,
know.
update in our book club universe. Every
Woo!
summer after is getting a movie.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know.
it's
I
called,
love that book.
it's gonna be called Every Year After instead, though.
Why?
I don't know.
Just leave it as summer.
I just saw
By
that.
Amazon Prime. Wait, I had no
Hmm.
idea. Oh my God. Remember when I called her Persephone? Persephone? I was like, Persephone. And Marissa was like, you dumb bitch. What the fuck are
I
you
did
saying?
not say
No,
that.
she didn't. But I was like, what? What? Wait, it has actors. It has castings. Should we talk about it?
Did we do that in that one?
I don't know. All right, you guys. Um,
Pause.
let's see if we dreamcasted. That was like a while ago.
That was a really long time ago. I
That
feel like
was
we did
literally
not
my favorite. I
Dreamcast.
actually, if I gave one more book of five, it was that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did this for our third book club we did every summer after. I didn't know
Really?
that. That's a long time ago. We were not dreamcasting at that point.
I was gonna say,
They cast, honestly, I don't even know who this guy is. It might be a Brandon Sklenar situation. He looks cool, but I don't know who he is. Let's see.
I don't know any of these people. I don't
Percy
think,
or Persephone or Persephone, if you will,
if you
is a
will.
redhead. So that's interesting. I don't think I ever pictured that. Sadie Soverall from Saltburn. Okay, I didn't watch Saltburn, so I wouldn't know that. And then Sam, the main guy, is Matt Cornett, who I've never seen, but it says he's from High School Musical, the musical, the series, which I didn't
Okay,
watch.
me
So there
neither.
you go. Now you know. You guys should watch it. I wonder when it's going to come out. Okay. Well, so much for that. So much for our rant. We can move on. But if you guys know, stay tuned for next week because you're getting the engagement story. You're getting
Yay!
the
I haven't
engagement
heard it
photos. I know.
yet.
I'm so excited. It's so like painful because I'm like, oh, I just want to tell Marissa about it, but I'm like, we got to do it for
I
the
gotta
pod.
wait.
Do it for the pod. So if you don't already, which would be insane, but if you don't already, follow us to stay up to date. If you're not crazy and not following us, that would just be silly. But follow us on Instagram at We Run on Coffee. We also have a Facebook page if that's your jam, if you're more of a Facebooker. We also have our YouTube channel, We Run on Coffee Podcast, and you can watch our video there or listen just audio. That's totally fine too. And Spotify is video and audio as well. Actually, Aunt Diane was asking me, she was like, it's video now, but I want to watch while I drive. I don't want to watch the video. I'm like, no, you can still listen. She didn't realize.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
if you
mhm.
guys don't know, you can also just listen to Spotify. You don't have to watch the video on there. So however you want to have your listening journey, you can do that. And I think that's it. So follow us and stay tuned for next week, the engagement story. Talk to you guys later. And with that, I'm Erica.
And I'm Marissa,
And
and
we
we
run
run
on
on
coffee.
coffee.
Bye.
Bye.